Ed and Eddy's Boo-Aha is the show's 25-minute Halloween special that came out on Friday, October 28, 2005. In the special, Eddy's big plan for the holiday is to find Spookyville, which according to the map given to him by his brother, will bring the Ed boys to a big trick-or-treat hotspot, which folks give out buckets and buckets of candy! However, as unforeseen consequences emerge from Ed's overnight horror movie marathon, Ed's perception on fantasy and reality blur, or in his case, become one, when he witnesses the Canker Sisters having some s'mores or marshmallows at a campfire in an alleyway. Which Lee eats marshmallows with ketchup? I don't remember this. Oh, that's certainly a choice. Ed hallucinates the Canker Sisters as witches who summon the untold evils onto the world. Therefore, Ed begins to see the children of the Cul-Da-Sac as the monsters from his horror movies and begins to beat the ever-living shit out of them. Or in some cases, tried to murder them, like when he hits Jimmy with a fucking stop sign and takes his candy after mistaking him for an alien with a rain gun. Sarah then finds Jimmy and then tries to get his candy back, but Ed thinks she's a vampire, so they really go at it. And it's just amazing how it takes Ed to think that his sister is a vampire in order for him to fight back against her. It's just amazing. But in the end, Ed buries Sarah alive. He buries his own sister alive. Oh, leaving Double D to creatively dig her out, which I really appreciate this animation. I really do. Now, I want you to remember Double D's good deed here, because I think it's important for the ending. Double D tries to catch up with the guys, but accidentally bumps into Naz and compliments her on her Medusa costume. Naz then invites Double D to go with her to trick-or-treating, and it's just really nice to see other kids, especially Naz, being nice to, well, at least Double D. I mean, out of the three, Double D is the most behaved one of the group and is shown the most respect that even Kevin goes to him for help from time to time. Anyway, Ed's having none of it, thinking that Naz is the real Medusa and attempts to fight her, but believes that she turned him into stone when they make eye contact. I love how Ed thinks that he's so badass that he thinks he's capable of breaking out of his stone imprisonment. It really does remind me of being a kid and you're playing with someone who just keeps making up new rules on the fly just to try to win.
Takanella! Hey kid, that knocks you down. Nuh-uh. Yeah, huh, I got you. Nuh-uh. Because my cloak is made of a titanium alloy that shields me from heat.
Ed takes a couple of clothespins and closes his eyelids shut and somehow manages to leave, come back, and drop a cement mixer on Naz. I mean, either he's cheating and he can see like through the cracks of his eyelids, or he has really good echo relocation. Ed then takes Naz's wagon as a chariot and hightails it out of there with Eddy and Double D, only to crash into an abandoned hearse, which was part of the map that leads to Spookyville. While Double D expresses his concern for Ed while putting on his seatbelt, which I love this detail, Eddy could care less and is more focused on his quest. While Eddy attempts to find the next place to go, Kevin shows up just to throw eggs at Eddy and the gang, or in Ed's mind, he sees the Headless Horseman throwing fiery pumpkins on his demonic horse. I feel like the Headless Horseman doesn't get enough love nowadays. I've always been fascinated by the tales of Sleepy Hollow, but mostly the Headless Horseman. I think Kevin looks awesome. In fact, a lot of the designs for the monsters look really incredible, especially in the Ed and Eddy art style. I mean, there's so much detail to appreciate. As the Kevin Headless Horseman chases our delusional dingbat and his two helpless friends, Ed the Viking, in all of his infinite wisdom, in order to save his companions, he throws them off a cliff to challenge the horseman one-on-one and manages to win, quote-unquote, by not only deflecting the pumpkin-believed egg back onto Kevin, but also destroying the bike horse by throwing it back over in Kevin's direction. Declaring his victory, Ed jumps off the cliff to catch up with his friends to continue their search for Spookyville, only to run into Johnny Longlegs, a wise and noble spider monster in which Ed beats up Double D whenever he speaks out of turn. Ed offers Jimmy's candy as tribute to Johnny for directions for the path forward, which Johnny happily shows him the way. Interestingly, while Ralph is not wearing a costume and is just enjoying his traditions for October 31st, Ed perceives Rolf and his pig Wilbur as a Cyclops troll and a monster pig. Rolf, rightfully so, gets upset after Ed stomps on his bucket of mushrooms, believing that the Cyclops or troll were trying to poison everyone.
Go, Ed boy! Hey,
rules why Rose shouldn't beat you mercilessly with a stick?
Ed then hits Ralph in the eye with a spatula and runs away, finding Frankenplank by his lonesome, at which Ed mercilessly beats Plank with a stick. As everyone else leaves, Double D picks up Plank, places him against a tree, and tells him to find Johnny. And this raises so many questions. I always believed Johnny was like, you know, totally like in his head talking to Plank, but there's a lot of times where Plank seems to be sentient. I mean, maybe I'm just overlooking. Of course, it's just a cartoon, but it's fun to think about, honestly. I do like that in some cases, maybe they're just like playing along with the delusion, but I don't know. But at long last, the Ed boys finally found their way to Spookyville, only to find out that they actually went in circles, and this was a big elaborate prank from Eddie's older brother, which I feel like this is one of the key things that foreshadows like the big finale in Ed and Eddie's Big Picture show. When you find out he's just a dick, it's great. You always get little clues of that he's just an asshole. Ed freaks out as all the kids from the Cul-Da-Sac, or monsters, have teamed up in order to attack Eddie and his friends. So Ed grabs everybody, finds a hole, throws them in there, and calls it a day. Like literally calls it a day, thinking that, oh, the evil's vanquished, even though I just ran away from them. And there's a lot of questions. He's not the brightest guy, is he? And while he just chills out in this like stone-made chair and reads a newspaper, the Cul-De-Sac kids come down there, and instead of turning their sights on Ed, they mostly focus on Eddie and Double D and beat the ever-living fuck out of them. I'm not gonna lie to you, I know I shouldn't be frustrated at this, but Ed was the one who attacked them. This isn't like some big scam where Eddie screwed over everybody. No, this was just Ed's insanity. Horribly harmed everyone else. This was not Eddie or Double D, and the fact that they didn't really do anything and they were victims of Ed's consequences, I'm not gonna lie, it frustrated me that like, and then Ed's just chilling out, and when the Cul-De-Sac kids are actually hostiles, Ed does nothing. I know it's a big joke of the story, but still, I'm sorry, I can't help but feel frustrated for Double D and Eddie when they've done nothing wrong, really. I mean, granted, you can argue that like maybe Eddie should have cared more about Ed's mental health instead of trying to go, because I mean, that's Eddie's problem, isn't it? And that was the whole character arc thing he has to go through in Ed and Eddie's Big Picture show, but still, holy damn. Plus also, this episode really puts into perspective that Ed's really violent. You remember that one episode where like he was just throwing hands with everybody? He just was in a terrible bad mood, only to find out that he had a pebble in his shoe the whole time, and that's why he was throwing hands? Like, holy crap. Also, I'm kind of surprised that he didn't attack the Kanker sisters, you know, the witches that started everything. This is interesting. Also, I'm just having fun talking about this episode. Any criticisms I have, it doesn't change how I feel about Ed and Eddie. I love the show and I love all the characters. It's just something to talk about, just fun to talk about, I'm not gonna lie.